with reports on housing. Hope everybody's ready to have a fantastic weekend. It's supposed to be nice and cool, not too hot. Really weird, strange weather. I guess we could blame it on autumn. It was actually raining a few minutes ago outside our door. Just a little light rain, but hey, welcome. I love the different change in the seasons, that's for sure. And here we are. It is definitely been the autumn market, but we've officially hit autumn. So very excited about having a nice weekend with the kids and family, like usual. I'm sure you guys all have big plans. We have big plans. See this room. I'm about to change our office. This is going to become my daughter's room, and we're just like doing a reshuffle. It's pretty fun. Anyway, uh, so welcome to this Housing Debrief, episode 26 of 2021. This is our second season, and I wanted to go ahead and get this party started without further ado. Housing Debrief. And I'd like to thank our sponsor, our wonderful sponsor, Kevin Buddy, my buddy, your buddy, Kevin Buddy at Monarch Coast Financial. His daughter is getting married, so if you try to say hi to him in the chat, you're not going to be able to say hi to him because, hey, congratulations to Kevin. Their family is blossoming and another chapter has evolved. So at Kevin Buddy at Monarch Coast Financial, he, of course, deals with more than one kind of borrower, more than one kind of loan, and they deal with everything from full documentation loans to alternative documentation loans to investor financing and even private money. So pretty much everything you need, as well as has loads and loads, tons of experience. He's been doing this since 1976. Kevin has it really has a loads of experience, and you can tap into his knowledge on the economy and where things are going. He's just a really smart dude to have in your arsenal of people to tap into for your lender needs for sure. I did for our family, and he's just an absolutely a phenomenal, very organized, very detail oriented, extremely friendly guy. My buddy, your buddy, Kevin Buddy at Monarch Coast Financial. Have him help you as well and your family and your clients at 949-422-2075. That's 949-422-2075. And let's see. So our company, it's Reports on Housing. It's your local real estate snapshot. We're about driving home the best data that empowers you to articulate exactly what's going on so you can properly set expectations. And we've got a bunch of nerds behind the wheel. Yes, I am a geek. That the little nerdy. That's okay. I get really happy when I talk about charts, data, and stats. And I'm a quantitative economics and decision sciences major. I am a housing analyst. So that is what I do. We have reports that dot all over Southern California, and LA, Orange County, San Diego got the reports this week. San Diego and San Bernardino, Riverside will get their report next week. We alternate between the weeks. The latest one that came out is called Buyers Against the Ropes. I know that they feel like that they've been pushed back against the ropes, but what I want them to do, and I'm trying to encourage them in this report, and I show them why, you know what, get back into that center ring, because it really makes sense for you and your family to do that. So, Reports on Housing, that's our company. It's the plural of report, REPORTS, reportsonhousing.com. Click there, subscribe. It's $15 per month, $150 per year. You should scratch your head when you're grabbing that next coffee. And if you don't have the report, that say, man, maybe I should give up this coffee for one day and get the report so that I can, make more money by articulating exactly what's going on in the marketplace so that people can make great financial decisions. And you get a month free if you sign up utilizing the coupon code Monopoly, because that's what we're talking about today, Monopoly. And of course, I do have a couple funny things that I wanted to share with you. One of them is when you get a full price offer in the market. Are you kidding me? That's insultingly low. I think that's great. How about this one? When the seller agrees to take on repairs, I'll do it. Kind of funny. For all those real estate people that are in real estate and have represented buyers and sellers in the past, this is exactly kind of what happens when the seller says they'll do it themselves. They'll get out some scotch tape and fix it. So let's get into home equity is like monopoly money. And I'm sure that you're wondering, what in the world is Stephen talking about? And basically, everybody's alluding to, and there's more and more people talking about affordability. And is there going to be an affordable housing crisis? We're not there to any kind of an affordable housing crisis, but definitely with values going up as fast as they are going, faster than wages, of course, that eats into home affordability. So be careful when you hear them say something like only 22% of everybody in this county is able to afford housing. That's based upon median household incomes. But what they're missing out on is there's a slew of people that already own a home that they can draw out their equity. They have mounds and mounds of equity. So I'm that geek on behalf of everybody out there. I have tapped into a few different things. I have my charts and data and stats up my sleeve, and I'm looking at this. And this kind of shows you how much money that people have in homeowners equity. It is absolutely gargantuan. It says here that this is actually taken from the Board of Governors, Federal Reserve System. U.S. homeowner equity surges to over $23 trillion as the value of the housing stock is nearly $35 trillion. And there's a lot of equity. There is mortgage debt outstanding, and it's now surpassing where we were prior to the Great Recession. But do not fear. That doesn't mean anything because we built that equity on the backs of people doing some subprime pick a payment plan, zero down, no qualify, your dog got the mortgage, that type of thing, a lot of fraud. So we built that equity on the backs of just really horrible lending practices, as well as placing people into homes that we shouldn't have. And if you look on the right-hand side, ever since then, we came out of the Great Recession, we've been doing really solid with really good, solid down payments, great credit scores. And as a result, this is really a solid housing stock with a lot of equity. And if you look at that, that's $23 trillion in equity. So a lot of people have a ton of equity. Let's say you purchased in 2014, and this is going to be my example to bring home the point. And hey, good afternoon, Lisa. The purchase in 2014, the purchase price of $800,000, a mortgage amount with 20% down is $640,000. That's the mortgage amount. So the payment at 2014 rate of 4.17%, and people could refinance and all that stuff, but I'm showing you what this example is. And this is 4.17%. Their payment would be $3,118. And that was the prevailing interest rate back in 2014, 4.17%, much higher than where we are today. And that's a payment of $3,118. And if you look at this, you're putting basically, you're putting $160,000 down, right? For this, that was at $800,000. Now we're going to talk about if you sell in 2021. Now that 800,000, I've done the math, and it's about 62.5% appreciation. That's compounded over time. When you put something like that, people go, what? It is true. Compounded over time, when you're talking about 4, 5, 6, 7% interest rate appreciation every year, from 2014 to now, you are looking at this 62.5%. That's at $1,300,000. Closing costs of approximately, let's say 6%, $78,000. It varies. You have to meet with somebody to get a proper net sheet, but you're looking at $78,000. The loan balance on this, from you had the initial mortgage amount of $640. It would have been paid down over time, and that loan balance would become $547,000. The net proceeds, subtracting out loan balance and closing costs, is $675,000. So that's exciting. $670,000. Why is that exciting? Because remember, that initial deposit was only $160,000. Now you're bringing home $675,000. That is a return on the investment of 322%. That means 4 times your initial deposit of $160,000, it became $675,000. And you wonder why people say that Yeah, you can do better in some investments, but the bottom line is when you are in real estate, you are making money in the long run, and it's a forced savings. It's absolutely fantastic. This kind of an example totally proves that out. Your initial deposit of $160,000, that's your skin in the game, became $675,000, and your mortgage payment stayed the same that entire period of time. And when rents, since you purchased in 2014, have been going up. Now, spending that monopoly money, so we have that $675,000 net. Okay, so now we're going to go turn around and buy a $1.6 million house. And you're going, wow, that's a lot of money, Stephen, a $1.6 million house. And this is the thing, because remember, that was originally an $800,000 house. Now you're doubling it. You're paying $1.6 million. It kind of blows people's minds away. But you got to get past the price, and you got to focus on the payment. That's what's important to families. It's that budget. Where does that payment fit into things? And so you got this down payment now. You're putting that $675,000 net right back into the next house, and you're looking at 42% down. That's huge, 42%. Did you ever think you'd be putting 42% down on a house? But yet you can, because you're taking your money, that monopoly money, and putting it right back into the house. And now you got a loan amount of $925,000. Now your payment at 3% approximately, let's call it that, today is $3,900. So $3,900, it's definitely a little bit more. You were paying $3,118. Now you're paying $3,900. Remember, you were making X in 2014, and now you're making Y in 2021. And maybe that difference is something that you can afford an extra $1,000. You're not even paying an extra $1,000 per month. You're paying $782 per month by selling your $1.3 million house and buying a $1.6 million house, a much bigger house. Maybe it's in a different area. Maybe it has a view. It has something else that you want. And this enables you to purchase. See, just because you might not have the income that they're talking about, you're rolling the income, and now you do not have to qualify for the $1.6 million house. Instead, you're qualifying for a loan amount of $925,000 given a 3% interest rate. That's much simpler to do than if you just put 20% down and 1.6 million, pocketed the rest. Of course, now you're going to have a much bigger loan amount. So it's just rolling that money, spending that monopoly money on another house, and then increasing your payment by $782 per month because your family is able to do it. You've done the family budget and said, shoot, we can do this. We can get this house with a pool, or this house with a view, or do whatever it is that you want. And this is just one example, that 800 becoming $1.6 million by waiting in time. There's a myriad of different examples out there. There's a lot of equity that's been earned over these last couple of years. If you purchased a couple of years ago, boom, you know how much value you come up with, and you're able to roll with it. Yeah, your example did not take into account federal and state taxes. So yeah, there are federal and state taxes. You go from 800 to 1.3. That's $500,000 gain. You have a one-time. You have a husband and wife have an exemption of $500,000. And if you owned your home, lived in it for the last 2 years, you're able to $250,000 in an individual excuse of gain. And if you're a couple, $500,000 in gain. Well, you've done it in this case. So my example does take into account federal and state taxes, because you're not paying anything for that additional, for the extra interest that you have, or the extra equity that you have made by waiting all of those years. You've lived in that house for many, many years, and now you're just rolling with the equity. So hope that answers your question, Jim. Or if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out. But that, in large part, is what I wanted to go over, so that you understand how all this equity that people have in their homes is kind of like monopoly money. It's like it's stored. You're not really doing anything. You're definitely winning. But the one time that you can pull out your monopoly money and move it to something else is when you sell it and you move up, or when you sell it and move down. Can you imagine that? You're looking at how much you're saving, and then you go down. you can do that as well, because that's you're allowed that $500,000 tax exemption that I was just talking about. You don't have to pay the 15% capital gains on any of that, and it's a win-win for everybody. But there are a myriad of different examples that you could do, especially that downsize. It looks really pretty when you say, yeah, you know what, you want to downsize to a smaller place because the kids are out, and you're going to go from this $1.3 million house, and now you're going to go buy a $900,000 townhome, and you can do the math on it. It looks even more spectacular. But this is for that move-up seller, that family that's got a bunch of young kids and wants a bigger home, that type of thing. And this is just one example out of many. But now the Southern California housing supply, the inventory, we crunched the numbers, of course, a week ago, and then this is the mid between the crunches. We'll crunch it again next week. But we do crunch the numbers for Riverside and San Bernardino, so we take all of Southern California. So I do have a snapshot for everybody as of where we are today. September 16th, a week ago, we were at 20,181. It actually went up 1%, or 286 homes. So we were below 20,000, and we made our way back up. We had already peaked in August, and last year at this time we were at 25,657. That's 27% higher than where we are today. And last year was an all-time low since I have been recording the data for this time of the month in September ever before. So it was already low last year, and it's even lower this year. The 3-year average is 41,230. So basically we should be double where we are today. And today we're at 19,953. So we've dipped back down below 20,000 again. And that's just going to be the way that it goes. It's going to slowly and methodically go down because we're into the fall. This is the time of the year when families can't really they can make a move, but they really don't want to. They want to wait until look in the spring and make the move over the summer. Even some families do it like around October for a close, and at the end of December when it's a halftime for for everybody out there that has kids in school. They're home for the holidays. So the inventory, this is where we typically peak. That is exactly where we peaked, and it's just going to, this is where we peaked. It's slowly but surely going to go down, and then it's going to jump down even further when we get to the holiday plunge. So SoCal demand, this is a snapshot of the last 30 days worth of pending sales. So it's just pending sales velocity. That's what I do with demand. But I did want to tell you the reason demand is so hot is because we have interest rates so low. Yesterday, the primary mortgage market survey that's been going back for 50 years was at 2.88%. It was at 2.86% last week. It's been hovering between 2.88 and 2.86 for about 2 months now. It's just been really, really low for a super duper long time, at or below that level. And it's been below 3% since the start of July. Now, speaking of the start of July, what will drive our interest rates up to 3%? Well, it's actually already happened. Yesterday, we got a jump in the 10-year Treasury. And I don't know if you've seen this, but a jump in the 10-year Treasury, if I do a line across this, the last time we were here was June 30th at this 1.46%. So the 10-year Treasury was in the 1.2s, then it went into the 1.3s, and now on yesterday, it went above 1.39. That's that threshold that we watch, and now it's at 1.46. So that's where it's at right now. So we're actually got interest rates now at 3%. So they have gone up within the last couple of days. Oh, wait a minute. I have a special guest. Yes. Who's the special guest? Oh, I felt a little tap. You guys probably saw a door open, but who's this?
Zeke.
Hi, Zeke. Say hi to everybody.
Hi.
Oh, yes. Are you ready to have another fun weekend?
Yeah.
Where were you today?
I was at
Where did you go?
my school.
You went to your school?
That was there.
Oh, that's
Sometimes.
sometimes. Anyways, so what was your favorite part of school today? Sand? He likes to say sand. We love you. And who's this that we have here? Who's this? Who's that?
It's Athena.
What are we doing this weekend?
I have a soccer game and working.
Soccer game and working. Yes, that's what we do. Who's this?
Bob.
Bob? Got to stand up really tall. There we go. We see you now. There you go. On your tippy toes. Bob. So, Miss Alana Joe Bob, were we doing anything fun this weekend?
Yes, I have a soccer game, and then I also have a team bonfire.
Right on. Boom. Who's this kid?
Mason.
Gotta get on your tippy toes or something. So what are you doing this weekend?
Soccer.
Oh man, you see, we're a soccer family. So anyways, thank you for stopping by. We appreciate you crashing in our housing debrief. All right. Anyways, so the U.S. Treasury's, the 10-year Treasury, that closely mirrors what happens with 30-year mortgages. And sure enough, it did. Mortgages went from where they were behaving to 2 7/8% up to 3%. So that's kind of what we're seeing. We're seeing a little bit of a rise recently, and that has to do with there's just some there's a little more concern, not with tapering so much. People are blaming it on tapering. I think there's a little more concern with inflation. And I think that people have the right to be a little bit concerned, because my biggest concern is actually all these people that where there are so many jobs that are open and there's not enough people to fill these jobs. There's going to be some wage pressure, and if we get too much wage pressure and wages go up, well, then cost of goods go up, and then you do have some inflation, and in which the only way to slow that thing down a little bit is to raise interest rates. So that's why there's a little bit of a concern that I have, and it's more on the job side of things than what a lot of other people are watching. So demand is the last 30 days worth of pending sales. This is a snapshot, and you're looking at it right here. This is where it is for Southern California. Last week, we were 18,312. It was basically flat. It was up 33 pending sales for that 2-week period from the start of September to September 16th. Last year at this time, we were at 20,636 for slightly higher, 13% higher, an extra 2,300 escrows, but that was because of a delay in the spring market. And then the 3-year average is 15,395, which is 16% less than where we are today. So you can see where we are today is much better than where we typically are. And that is with a limited inventory and a limited number of homeowners coming on the market compared to what the average number of homeowners that come on the market at any given time. And today we're at 18,192. So we went from 312 to 192. So it's coming down a little bit. So there you go. We have inventory that's coming down a little bit. We also have demand that's coming down a little bit. It's called fall. Remember, this is when inventory and demand slightly fall during our autumn market. And demand year over year, this is where it's going to go from here. It's going to go slowly but surely down until we get to the second week in November, and then it's going to plunge like it does. So the inventory plunges and demand plunges at the end of the year, also called the holiday market. And the speed of the market right now, how fast are we going? You can see it's a flat line. It's been at 33 days for a super long time. Let's see if it's changed again. So September 16th, last week, it was at 33 days. Oh, I just showed you today. 33 days. Well, last year at this time, 36 days. 3-year average is 76 days. We can't shake this 33 days. This is the longest I've ever had a straight line. Let's see if we can keep this puppy going, because at 33 days, it's crazy. Deep buyer's market, this is just like a speedometer. I just had to reverse it. You know that the lower the number, the faster you are going. So at 180, that would be 180 days in the market. That is so slow that you're actually stripping away value. It's really slow. We have too much inventory, not enough demand, the exact opposite of what we have today, because that's where we were prior to the Great Recession, was this just overabundance of homes on the market. So we had an inventory glut and very little demand. And today we have an inventory crisis and a lot of demand juiced by very low interest rates. And that's where we're at today. And you can see, there it is. Anything below 40 days is what we call nuts, insane, and that is where we are today, nutty, insane. And that's where we're going to continue to be for the rest of the year, is insanity market. And I wanted everybody to know, yep, I'm that guy, that quantitative economics and decision sciences nerd. I want you to know I have an economic model. This is what I do. I am a housing analyst. I cannot fly a plane. I don't even know what to do. And I wouldn't even begin to even think I knew what to do. And nor would I want to do that. This does not float my boat. Instead, my instrument panel, my cockpit looks like this. This floats my boat. This is exactly what I like. This is what I like to look at all these different charts and a slew of other ones. And something else comes out and it excites me. That's what I do. I love what I do. Some people like to fish. I like to look at charts and stats and things like that. So you go to somebody that's a housing analyst to find out what's really going on. Just like when I had heart issues many years ago, when I had heart surgery, I went to cardiologists and heart surgeons. I did not go to my neighbor. I did not go to a barbecue and ask him what to do. I didn't go to a pilot able to fly this plane and ask him what I should do with my heart, because that's not what they do. Nor do I know what to do with it. Yet some people wear coats like this and they look really smart and they think they know what they're doing because they did really well on an investment, but that they don't know how to read charts. They weren't trained in it and they don't understand everything that you need to look at. And there's a lot of social media misinformation out there. So be careful what you watch. You want a copy of this? You need to be a subscriber to the Housing Report. Put it in the comments. I'll be more than happy to send you a copy of the report. And you go to reportsonhousing.com. If you are not a subscriber, it's the plural of report, REPORTS, reportsonhousing.com. Click on subscribe. It's $15 per month or $150 per year. You get a month free if you sign up utilizing the coupon code Monopoly. And thank you, Kevin Buddy, Monarch Coast Financial, dealing with all kinds of different ways of everybody's lending needs, as well as loads and loads of experience. My buddy, your buddy, Kevin Buddy. At a wedding today, 949-422-2075, 949-422-2075. He can help you out like he helped my family out and your clients. And that's all I have. Let's see if I did have any questions on here. It doesn't look like I have anything. So yes, Lisa, nerds unite. Okay, now you're saying what I am hearing. Let's see. I have heard multiple lenders say lock sounds different here. Nah. Yeah, you definitely want to. You kind of want to lock just because of the friction that's going on right now, and I think that we could get a little bit of a rise in rates right now. So actually, I am thrilled that we're getting a rise in rates. I will not be happy until rates rise about 3.25%, because that'll be enough where it will slow things down enough, and we'll be able to get some more inventory. And then I'd have to change my 2022 forecast, which I just finished, and I'd be more than happy to make an update to my 2022 forecast, because all of a sudden we have rising interest rates. That would be absolutely fantastic. And then how about this one? We've got somebody saying something here, and it is, hi, Stephen. Do you believe that a great percentage of first-time home buyers, no equity involved, are priced out? There are some people that are definitely priced out, but you have to understand there's a lot of forced savings. There's been a lot of millennials that have saved, and they say they've been living with their parents, but they've saved for a very long time and they're sitting with a lot of money. So they're not necessarily priced out. There's a lot that are dual income that can still afford to purchase. And, it's like when I was a first-time home buyer, sometimes we like to bite off more than we can chew. It's better to do the family budget and say, hey, you know what? I might have to live in this townhome first, then trade equity, use your monopoly money, trade up down the road, and get your family a bigger place. As the family grows, the kids grow taller, that type of thing, you need a bigger place. So, and then also something that everybody should be aware of, there's a lot of capital in the system. There are a lot of parents, grandparents, and different people out there that are helping support the real estate needs for buyers out there today. They're actually coming up with the difference in appraisals. They're helping out with down payments. They're helping out with fix-up costs. I've seen it all over the board. And you ask a lender and they'll tell you it's pretty rampant. There is a lot of help out there that is bridging the gap from not being able to quite do it, not quite, to being able to fulfill that dream of purchasing something. So yes, it does exist. 2022 forecast sounds like we need a throwdown. Absolutely. I would love to do a throwdown on this one. I just need to, it really ultimately kind of depends upon where rates are at right now, but I'm feeling very bullish on the housing market right now, just based upon where inventories are right now and where they're headed by the end of the year. It's not what anybody likes to hear, but we're going to have very, very low inventory to start the year. It's going to be lower than what we started off this year. And if we continue to have these low interest rates, which I assume they will not grow all the way to 3.25%, which means it's just going to be extremely hot, and people are still going to be diving into the market. And until we get rates that rise a little bit higher, we'll be able to slow things down. I don't think that is until about the summer of 2022. Anyways, that's just a little prelude to 2022, but I'd be more than happy to do a throwdown, Lisa. Anyways, any other questions, put them in the chat, and have a fantastic weekend. Thank you for tuning in, and enjoy this beautiful, crisp, cold fall weather that we're having. Hopefully it's not too hot, and just enjoy your weekend. We'll see you on the other side. Thank you so much, and have a